University Hospital and Clinics is facing a massive budget cut come July 1st if state lawmakers don't act quickly. The DOTD, Darla, shut down this road at 8 o'clock tonight. It will be shut down until 6 in the morning. Now you can see they have the floodlights up and the scaffolding up. And Acadiana woman has created a special hurricane chart. It's designed to let law enforcement know how many people and pets may be inside a home if there's an evacuation during a hurricane. The smartphone app Gas Buddy recently did a survey of over 2,600 drivers. It found that many people are overpaying for their gasoline. Hundreds of people are here now outside the convenience store where Alton Sterling was shot and killed by Baton Rouge police officers early yesterday morning. Did you want to say something?
Welcome. We love Mardi Gras.
The muse does speak. Wonderful. The theme this year, Grand Prix. I've got my motor oil here and my checkered flags. St. Landry Parish has a contract to build 2 bridges at once. This bridge on BO Road at a cost of about $400,000 and this bridge on Rosina Road near Lawtell at a cost of about $750,000.
That's right. We're between Cajun, Harley-Davidson, and Fizos. We're so happy to be here. The weather is just so nice compared to the, last couple of days that we've had with the colder temperatures. It's just so pleasant to be out here, and this weather's keeping me warm too.
Right now, Governor John Bel Edwards tours University Health and Clinics and reacts to the possibility of the hospital closing. Plus, we'll tell you how much the Iberia Parish Sheriff's Department is spending on false alarms. University Hospital and Clinics is facing a massive budget cut come July 1st if state lawmakers don't act quickly.
Governor John Bel Edwards says it's time for Louisiana lawmakers to take responsibility for their actions. Continuing our team coverage on the rippling effect of Louisiana's budget deficit.
News 10's Logan Reaver joins us from one of the long-term care facilities where residents are receiving their eviction notices. He talked to the residents at the home about what's next for them. Logan, what are they telling you? A Youngsville man has been indicted for the 2008 murder of an Acadiana woman. A decade ago, the body of 47-year-old Bonnie Rupard was found by a jogger along Lajeunesse Road. The autopsy report said she had been stabbed multiple times and struggled with her killer before her death. In March of this year, DNA taken from Millard Hebert matched DNA found under Rupard's nails. Hebert was being held on drug charges in Lafayette. Now on Wednesday, a Lafayette grand jury indicted Hebert for second-degree murder. His arraignment is set for July 24th. A bill that would require all Louisiana public schools to display "In God We Trust" in their buildings has advanced in the legislature. It received final legislative passage last night. The bill was passed 93-0 and was sent to the governor's desk. It would also require that schools teach students about the slogan. We have a traffic alert for drivers in the Hub City. Tonight, one section of Surrey Street will be closed for repairs. Surrey Street between 11th and 12th Streets will be closed from 5:30 until 10 tonight. LUS crews are making repairs to the sewer lines. Detours will be posted. A unique bowl filled with fresh, flavorful ingredients. You don't want to miss today's Acadiana Eats. And if you're thinking about giving running a go, we have some helpful tips as you begin your journey. That's in today's Eye on Health.
Today, Acadiana Eats highlights a Hawaiian-inspired restaurant.
News 10's Gerald Grunig takes us to Poke Go right here in Lafayette. Let's check it out. For more on these delicious dishes, you can follow Acadiana Eats on Instagram. You can also leave comments on where you think Gerald should visit next. Are you looking for an exercise that doesn't require a gym membership, fancy equipment, or a gym buddy?
Yes.
Okay.
Running, well, might be what you're looking for, but don't jump in without doing your homework. Reed Bennon has tips for new runners.
Coming up, we'll tell you where algae blooms light up the ocean at night.
Now, the photos captured a phenomenon called bioluminescence.
That occurs when large numbers of phytoplankton gather in groups called blooms. It results in an eerie blue glow in the waves, but despite the color, the official name of the occurrence is actually a red tide. Now, these photos captured the blooms in a 20-mile stretch between La Jolla and Encinitas. Very pretty.
It's blue, but it's
called red. It's called a red tide, but it's like a glowing
blue,
eerie blue. Yeah.
Okay.
Very pretty though.
It is pretty. That is fascinating.
It's almost one of those things that looks like it's not
real.
Not real, yeah.
But it is.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us today at 5.
See you at 6. Right now, a local priest confesses to molesting a 16-year-old boy. Community reaction ahead. Plus, another way to protect your family during a hurricane. Hello, Acadiana. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rob Macko.
I'm Caroline Marcello in for Darla Montgomery.
A St. Landry Parish priest has turned himself in on molestation charges. Investigators say Pastor Michael Guidry confessed to giving a then 16-year-old boy alcohol before sexually assaulting him. The alleged abuse happened years ago. News 10's Lester Dewey has today's developments. Father Tom Voorhees, the pastor of Sacred Heart Church in Ville Platte, has been appointed in Guidry's absence. A Ville Platte mother is speaking out after her son's murder last month. News 10's Logan Reaver explains why she's now afraid of the suspects who haven't been caught yet. In St. Landry Parish, 9 children were turned over to Child Services after deputies found crack cocaine, marijuana, and guns inside a home. The home is located on Gordon Street in Lawtell. 2 people were arrested. 8 of the 9 children were theirs. The suspects' names have not been released yet. And technology is being used to help prevent hot car deaths. We'll tell you about that coming up in today's Eye on Health. So not a great looking weekend there, Heath.
No. Saturday, a few storms, but Sunday will be the worst day.
Yeah. We need the rain, but like you said, some areas, they're tired of it already.
Some areas have already seen 7 or 8 inches this week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but other areas have seen nothing.
Exactly.
That's the way it works this time of year.
All right, thanks, Heath.
Gotcha.
Well, coming up, slow smoked pork topped with homemade barbecue sauce. We'll tell you where you can find this delicious sandwich coming up in today's Acadiana Eats.
Well, barbecue is a summertime favorite in around Acadiana, especially in Broussard. They're serving up some of the most delicious dishes around.
News 10's Gerald Grunig takes us to No Good Sons Barbecue in Broussard. Let's check it out.
For more on those delicious dishes, you can follow Acadiana Eats on Instagram.
Let's get dinner. Let's go now. Let's go right now. You can also leave suggestions on where you think Gerald should visit next. In today's Eye on Health, reminders on how to keep your kids safe while driving this summer. The National Safety Council released a report this month that says more than 700 children in the U.S. died of heat stroke in vehicles between 1998 and 2017.
Felony charges are now possible.
Conservationists in South Africa captured this close-up video of Smokey. He's a male lion just chilling, watching the sunrise. Video of the 10-year-old big cat sitting in the long grass has had more than 12.5 million views on social media.
The director of the Wildlife Reserve says Smokey is a very charismatic lion and loves to get head rubs from his manager. The popularity of the video came as a surprise to the group and say maybe it's the piece that people need to see in their busy lives. The reserve's mission is to love, protect, and preserve the lion species and is currently home to 72 lions.
Wow.
That's like serenity right there.
I'm relaxed.
He's just relaxing,
So peaceful.
watching the sunrise. Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's pretty,
Very
pretty impressive, you know, pretty impressive to
I liked it.
to see that.
Well, thanks for joining us.
We'll see you tonight for News 10 at 6.
Well, Acadiana residents traveling to Texas and beyond have crossed the I-10 bridge in Lake Charles.
The bridge is often listed in articles as one of the most dangerous bridges in the country. So how accurate are those rankings? Well, state and federal officials say the bridge is safe, but many say a new bridge is needed. The I-10 bridge in Lake Charles opened in 1952. The DOTD says more than 74,000 vehicles cross the bridge every day. Others put that number closer to 90,000. The bridge is consistently featured in online articles as one of the most dangerous bridges in the country. Drivers have mixed feelings about how safe it is.
It's not in good shape. It really needs to be updated. I never feel safe driving over it.
It's really sound. I mean, there's no problem. I never feel any shaking. The only shaking I feel is all them 18-wheelers that's passing around, you know.
One reason the bridge gets such bad press is because of the National Bridge Inventory, which is a Federal Highway Administration database. The most recent inspection from 2017 said the bridge was in poor condition. The deck, superstructure, and substructure were given ratings of 3. Anything under 4 is considered structurally deficient. The bridge inspections are done by the DOTD, and the results are then sent to the federal government. A spokesman for the Federal Highway Administration says that even though the bridge is considered structurally deficient, that is just an engineering term. He says that has nothing to do with whether the bridge is safe or not.
I drive over it weekly with my family, and I don't have any issues driving over it with my wife and my 8-month-old son.
Nick Hunter is the mayor of Lake Charles. He says he's not qualified to speak to the safety of the bridge, but says a new bridge is needed.
This is very much on the mind of local people. I think there's a lot of frustration because we've been talking about this bridge for 20 years.
George Swift is president and CEO of the Southwest Louisiana Economic Development Alliance, which oversees economic development for 5 parishes.
And when you look from I-10 from California to Florida, unfortunately, this I-10 bridge is probably a weak link.
He says the bridge is unsafe because of its steep incline and lack of turnoff lanes and lights.
If you have a flat tire or your vehicle stalls, you're going to have a serious problem, and I've had that happen to me before, and it's not a very pleasant experience.
The DOTD wants to build a new bridge just north of the existing bridge. A preliminary design could be ready by this fall. I met with DOTD Secretary Dr. Sean Wilson earlier this year. He told me if the bridge wasn't safe, it would be closed down immediately, like other bridges have been.
I will tell you the state spent over $20 million restoring that bridge. We'll be the first to tell you we need to rebuild that bridge as well.
He'll also tell you that money to pay for a new bridge just isn't there.
We think that project should be a toll bridge. It's one of the few bridges in our state that we have to reconstruct on the interstate, and it's eligible to be tolled.
But even with tolls, Wilson said it wouldn't be enough. Mayor Hunter says he thinks a new bridge is closer to becoming reality than it's ever been. He agrees coming up with the cash to pay for a bridge that could cost between $700 million and $1 billion is a problem.
We're still very frustrated because we haven't seen the dollars materialize on a federal or state level for this bridge.
The Economic Development Alliance has a task force looking at ways to raise money for the bridge. Swift says tolls, property taxes, and gas taxes are all being studied.
We think this is our top infrastructure priority because if something were to happen to that bridge, it would shut down the economy of not only Louisiana, but of the nation. It would be greatly impacted.
The DOTD says the current bridge would remain open to traffic while the new bridge is being built, but officials are concerned now about the president's infrastructure plan. Now, the federal government currently pays for 80% of these types of projects. Officials, though, hearing the feds could cut that back to 20%, meaning state and local governments would have to come up with the rest. And Darla, we know how tight money is right now in this environment. Of course, the state has many, many big projects. I mean, they're trying the Lafayette Connector here in Lafayette, and that's a $750 million project. So really coming up with the money is going to be the tough part here.
Tough part, absolutely. But you answered so many questions tonight, Rob, especially the one of safety. I know a lot of people have anxiety when they are driving over that bridge. So one, if it were that dangerous, the bridge would be closed.
They would shut it down immediately. Yeah, they certainly would. Like Surrey Street here in Lafayette.
Absolutely.
All right.
Good job. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.
Well, Governor John Bel Edwards was in town today. He came to Lafayette and met with officials for about an hour at the parish's Emergency Operations Center. After that, he went on a helicopter tour of Acadiana. This is how that went. Governor John Bel Edwards spoke to the media after meeting with Lafayette Parish officials for about an hour Monday afternoon. He says this has been an unprecedented flood event. He asked residents to be careful and remember that some roadways may be damaged or remain flooded. Edwards then toured some of the flood-ravaged parts of Acadiana by helicopter. He later met with officials in Iberia and Vermilion parishes to see what they need from the state. Edwards says he toured the area with his cabinet members and FEMA's regional administrator. He's hoping President Obama adds parishes in Acadiana to the federal disaster declaration list.
We've got the National Guard represented here, the State Police, Department of Transportation, Department of Children and Family Services. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser is traveling with us. And as I said, we've got the FEMA Regional Administrator who's going to make the decisions and make the recommendations to the White House on adding parishes. And so it's important that he see firsthand the damage that is much more widely spread than just the 4 parishes that have already been declared.
And that is really important that FEMA administrator got to see for himself the damage here in Acadiana. Hopefully we can add those parishes in Acadiana to that list of federal disaster declaration areas. Now, Governor Edwards did want us to get out a couple of important tidbits of information, a phone number and a website. This is for anyone who may have some flood damage in their home. The first is a phone number for FEMA. It's 1-800-621-FEMA. Again, 1-800-621-FEMA. The second one is a website that you can go to. It's disasterassistance.gov. He wants all residents to go to that. So if, and hopefully we will get that disaster declaration, your information will already be in the system and hopefully money can get to you quicker. by having that done. For now, we're reporting live from the Beaver Park area in Lafayette. This is Rob Macko for News 10. We'll be back in just a little bit. Darla? Several hundred teachers, parents, students, and community members came out to support Daisha Hargrave Thursday afternoon. Many signs and shirts read #StandByDaisha. Hargrave, a Renee Rost middle school teacher, attended Monday night's Vermilion Parish School Board meeting. She questioned why Superintendent Jerome Pio got a $30,000 pay raise while the teachers haven't had raises in 10 years. An Abbeville Deputy City Marshal forcibly removed Hargrave from the meeting, then placed her in handcuffs and put her in a police car that took her off to jail. Many people brought signs saying things like "Stand with Daisha and we will not be silenced." You can see they also brought umbrellas because it was kind of rainy this afternoon. Now, we did talk to both parents and teachers, and they say when they saw the video, they were outraged. Sheila Desatel has been a Vermilion Parish teacher for 21 years and knows Hargrave, but she wasn't at the school board meeting. When you saw that video, what was going through your mind?
I became very anxious when I saw that meeting. I almost felt as though I was there. Felt like I wanted to come out of my skin with rage. You know, just could not believe that injustice was happening.
Erica Brown's daughter, Sydney, is a first grader at Indian Bayou Elementary School. Brown thinks the teachers deserve a raise and the community deserves honest answers.
I'm here because I saw the video like everybody else, and it made me angry. And I have a duty to my daughter to show her what's the right thing to do. And the right thing is to stand up and say that we don't agree with what happened.